I'd love to start first about who is Hannah and yeah, how'd you kind of get here?
Yeah, well, you want the origins of how I got here? Well, I'm a five-generation summer person. And so I grew up in Barcelona, which of course deeply affected my sort of like food cultures scape. I came back, went to college of the Atlantic, spent a lot of time in Mexico and Guatemala learning with subsistence farmers, and sort of approached international food business affects communities globally. So went off to study international food business in Germany, and then took a turn towards food waste, and was working in Spain back home for a while, and then got the opportunity to come back to Maine to work with Healthy Acadia, where I was the first paid gleaning coordinator. If you don't know what gleaning is, it's harvesting surplus from farms and getting it to local food pantries and meal sites. And I discovered FarmDrop as a community food systems solution in Blue Hill, Maine, and took it over as part of my role started on the FarmDrop journey, which it's been around for 15 years, and I've been sort of in charge of it for the last 10.
That's awesome. That's really cool to hear a little bit more about that background. And I think it's a very valuable service. I'd love for you to just kind of dive into what is FarmDrop, what have you guys done, how did it start, and where has that kind of journey taken you?
I like to say that, so the core of FarmDrop is basically if you take a farmer's market and a CSA and they have an online baby, you get FarmDrop. That was sort of like the beginning in 2015, but we sort of quickly realized that this was something that could exist in not just Blue Hill, Maine. And so we replicated to MDI. And so the use of technology was brought up as an important way to be able to coordinate the logistics of customers being able to select exactly what they wanted, paying farmers in advance, having the farmers be in control of pricing, inventory, collectively marketing, developing a distribution system around. And we opened up a location in Portland and in Unity. And so we had these 4 separate community markets with completely different food producers on each one. We quickly realized that we needed to not just, have every tech stack needing to be updated separately by our tech team, but that we needed to develop and design a platform that could host all of the markets on one platform, that would also allow producers to maybe expand beyond their local community and find markets in other communities. So figuring out ways to efficiently create new markets closer to home, closer to the producers, to better connect producers that are right around us, making incredible food, became the purpose of FarmDrop, and how to do that in a way that still maintains that direct connection between the producer and the customer. And we started to develop this model, and decided, we were an L3C, which is a low income limited liability company. Not all states recognize this structure, but in the state of Maine, we're lucky to be able to have the L3C recognized at the state level. And so what that means is we have social mission. And so we're working to support the farms, but we're also working, to reach customers that want access to more local food. And also we're expanding to support not only wholesale restaurants, but also food security organization. We're now in 3 regions of Maine, 4 regions in Maine, in Down East, where we are today. And then we have mid-Maine, northern Maine, and southern Maine FarmDrop regions. And each one of those regions is managed by what we call a regional manager, a regional FarmDrop manager. And their role is to figure out the best way to sort of aggregate all the product from their region, sometimes across regions, and that we're sort of like growing with more customer support with wholesale restaurants, retail stores, schools, and food pantries to really become more of a full service.
No, I love that. I think that really explained in depth how FarmDrop came to be. Yeah, I'd love to chat a little bit more about kind of your impact at FarmDrop. You said you came in about 10 years ago. What are the kind of ways that you have specifically wanted FarmDrop to go, kind of following that vision?
Well, it's really interesting because as a business, we have access to certain services. Like we went through, Top Gun, which is a sort of business training program from Maine Center for Entrepreneurs. We did the Cultivator program, which helped us develop sort of our financial management systems. And what's really unique about FarmDrop is The nature of having a variety of local food online that isn't always available at local retail stores, co-ops, or even farmers markets. And what's different about FarmDrop is that the farmers are putting up all of their availability, everything that they produce on their farm, and with no limitations to shelf space, but also getting really creative with unit sizes that, their wholesale buyers don't necessarily want to experiment with, like 3-pound mystery box of mushrooms. It's one of our top sellers. People love it. And so really it's just been like discovering, not always exactly like knowing what the value of what we were doing was at every step, and then just sort of realizing, oh my god, customers can get 50 pounds of chicken and just stock their freezer. You can buy whole animals on FarmDrop. We have half cows, or you can get a lamb like custom butchered and coordinate it with your farm and just make the payment through FarmDrop, and we'll distribute whatever cuts you want that week. You just put it in your notes and we'll bring down the lamb chops or the ground lamb, or and then the other sort of like fascinating part of developing FarmDrop is this concept of what is local. We fought a lot a few years ago of, what is the definition of a sustainable local food system, and should we be limiting customers to only be able to purchase what's within their immediate locale. And a lot of people define local as New England, and others define local as Maine, and some people define local as, can I drive to the farm and can I talk to the farmer? And FarmDrop expands the definition just enough so that you can get Crooked Face Creamery ricotta from Skowhegan, because why not, in a way that makes sure that we're constantly engaging with the local communities that we drive through and drive to and are working with to make sure we have FarmDrop in their communities for years to come, because we think it's a really important resource.
I think that's really cool to hear more about. You guys have a couple events coming up. Do you want to share a little bit about that while we have you, and kind of what you got planned for the rest of the year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in addition to the switch over to a new technology platform, it's going to bring a lot of much needed sort of flexibility in how producers can engage the network, and also how customers can engage the network. So the new platform has Snap EBT access built into it. It has the ability for different buyers to use ACH payment, which is a lot better for schools who don't always have credit cards available to make purchases online. And we're going to be able to really create more network of sort of local community. So we do have like a pretty robust set of events coming up. On May 9th, we're going to be a part of a community solutions conversation at the Reversing Falls Sanctuary in Brooksville. And then, yeah, finally, we do have another event August 6th at Sassafras Cafe, which is going to be sort of more of a inviting sort of a lot of our top customers to come and talk to them about ways in which they can further support strengthening our infrastructure, so that we can get more potentially vans that can support sort of some of the work that we're doing in the areas.
It sounds awesome. There's a awesome laundry list of events that people around can have the opportunity of diving in more with FarmDrop and some of the people in the community that make FarmDrop. Is there anything specific you want to share with people? Is there a good way for people to get in contact with you? And yeah, just want to see if you have any last thoughts and conversation pieces about FarmDrop.
I just want to say that FarmDrop has been around since 2011 again, and so many different people have been a part of developing it. And it's really been a collaborative, consultative sort of decision-making process every step of the way, every turn we've taken. And so I think it's really important to just say, FarmDrop is going to reinvent itself every step of the way. We're going through a big metamorphosis with this new technology sort of platform, and we invite anyone and everyone that's interested in building our own food system. They're welcome. And yeah, thanks so much for having me. And
awesome. Yeah, no, I love that. Once again, the website is farmdrop.us. Definitely check it out. Thank you so much for joining, Hannah. See ya.